I never thought my job could lead me to something like this. I work for a big financial firm in the middle of the city. It's the kind of place where people sit in gray cubicles, staring at screens for hours, only getting up for coffee or meetings. Nothing exciting ever happens. At least that's what I used to think. A few months ago, my manager called me into his office. He told me there was an old data storage facility in the basement that needed organizing. It hadn't been touched in years, and the company wanted everything digitized. It sounded boring, but I didn't have much of a choice. So I went down there expecting a few weeks of mind-numbing work. The basement was worse than I imagined. Rows and rows of metal filing cabinets, coated in dust, stretching down a dimly lit corridor. The air was stale, and the flickering lights overhead made everything feel off. But I got to work. At first, it was exactly what I expected. Old client records, transaction histories, corporate reports. But then I started noticing something strange. Some files were marked with red stickers. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe they were just flagged for review. But as I read through them, my stomach turned. These weren't normal client reports. They were detailed records of violent incidents, assaults, disappearances, even deaths. And all of them were tied to the company's wealthiest clients. The deeper I went, the worse it got. There were photos, black and white surveillance shots of people right before they vanished. Handwritten notes about problematic employees who had been handled. I found one file about a former coworker, someone I remembered from my first year at the firm. He had complained about unethical practices. His file ended with a single word: resolved. I knew I should stop, but I couldn't. It was like a bad dream I couldn't wake up from. Then I found something that made my blood run cold, an envelope with my name on it. Hands shaking, I opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper. It was a report on me, my work history, my personal details, my daily routine. And at the bottom, written in bold letters, was today's date, followed by the word, pending. I barely had time to react before I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. I turned and my manager was standing there, smiling. "You found more than you were supposed to," he said. I bolted, knocking over a filing cabinet as I ran. I didn't stop until I was out of the building. For days I couldn't sleep. I knew they were watching me. Then, one by one, the names in those files started making the news. Car crashes, heart attacks, accidents that didn't seem like accidents. The company was falling apart. The same people who had built their empire on blood and silence were being wiped out. It was like fate itself was correcting the balance. And then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. The remaining executives resigned. The office shut down. No one ever found out the full story. I still don't know how I made it out alive. Maybe I was just lucky. Maybe someone on the inside had warned me. But I do know one thing: some secrets refuse to stay buried. And some people, no matter how powerful they think they are, can't escape what's coming for them.